Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatah, Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham, Koha Kadash. The bonus to the apostles and elders of Grey Millstone and Ruwell. And salutations to the sincere Aki and pushing this truth with no due diligence and sincerity. Just a very quick to the point, just woken up for the day. And essentially, I've just come across a video in regards to a massive fire that has occurred in a logistics center in Taiwan. Now, that logistics center that's burnt down in Taiwan, for the most part, is the eighth largest logistics center in the world, man. A very modern facility. It says here in the Taiwan news, huge fire breaks out at Carrefour Logistics Center in northern Taiwan. Yeah. Now, what's happening is it's a massive logistics center, extremely massive. It's 2 stories high, but it stretches out a- for a long distance. That's the best way I can explain the structure. It's not like a skyscraper structure, but imagine rather than being tall vertically, it's very long horizontally, and it's got 2 floors. Right, it's the eighth largest logistics center in the world. Obviously massive for Taiwan, but in regards to the world, it's the eighth largest, right? And you had a situation where in the early hours of this morning, it was like 7 a.m. in Taiwan, so super early for us, you know, because the sunrise is there first. Like it was super early for them, for for us for them 7 a.m. anyway, but really really extremely early for us. In the early hours of this morning, somehow mysteriously, the entire second floor, as you can see here, for the most part, caught fire. Now the thing with fire is and hot and heat anyway is hot air rises. So what am I even saying? Hot air rises. It is pretty much, man, engulfed the majority of the building. I might even be mistaken. It might even be the bottom floor, which is then risen up to the second floor. I'll check the video I found this information from, but essentially, um, the entire building, man, it is engulfed in flames, man. And if you're worried about, price rises from Russia, Ukraine, when China invades Taiwan, the world's largest chip manufacturer, shit is gonna go through the roof, man. Despite 73 firefighters, 23 fire trucks, ambulances, and tanker trucks, even they haven't been able to put out the fire fully, and they've pretty much, man, got mass damage to this building that provides Taiwan, of course, with a lot of its food, man, and really wider Asian nations, but Taiwan in particular, man. This particular city also in focus. Now, if they're disrupted and their workers can't eat, and if they're unable to feed their families, that's going to cause even more problems, more significant problems within the world financial system, because these people are dependent upon for the production of semi chip conductors, man, for cars and pretty much a lot of modern day technology. You can see the fire here engulfing the facility, and that's a massive fire. These are the types of fires that you can't just put out with you saw the pathetic attempt by the fire truck right there to put out that little bit of fire with the rest of it burning. For something like this, you would literally need like massive bomber planes filled with water, and a couple of them at that. That right there is some massive damage, man. Now, you know, that could have been set up by China. That could have been, an insider that, purposely put those flames up, because I don't know how that flame occurred, man. Like, and you gotta remember as well, like, it's the eighth largest food manufacturer in the world. Like, these modern day buildings, so it would have to be somewhat modern, and these modern day buildings have fire prevention. This is not like the Grenville, what's it called, the Grenville Tower Council Estate in London, which was just pretty much a death trap. This is actually a modern day building where they will have fire doors and sprinkler systems and all the rest of it, and somehow, you know, it's gone down, man. But hey, two quick scriptures. I just want to make this quick. Matthew, the 24th chapter, and Matthew's the 24th chapter, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So Yahushua told the apostles, man, and really filtering down his followers. Listen, there's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna hear wars popping off everywhere. Ukraine and Russia, Tai- um, Taiwan and China, um, Iran and Iraq. There was a missile misfire between those two nations, man, and the U.S. jumped in with their portion of blame. I forget which way around it was, but you can look it up. Iran and Iraq, a missile misfire, man, with one of the nations shooting a missile and then landing in the territory of the other and causing some damage. Wars and rumors of wars, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Hey, we're supposed to see these things and rejoice. It's a beautiful thing, man. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Matthew 24th chapter is not just jumping off the page, it's literally moonwalking and running laps right now, man. Running 100 meters and back, running a relay, man. What we're seeing right in front of us right now with the wars and rumors of China now looking in the background to invade Taiwan, rumors of tension, it really tense tension between Iran and Iraq. America being on edge, NATO being ready, deploying troops to these Nordic countries' borders like Poland and Lithuania and that. Hey, things are really on edge, man. Really, really on edge. I'm gonna play this video and that will be the lesson, a portion of it. Um, I recommend subscribing to the Economic Ninja. This guy right here is a reliable source of good, honest journalism, especially in a financial sense. He gives you up to date information in regards to what's going on. And yeah, man, hey, man, it gets worse for the world, but ultimately speaking, better for us, man. Because the further down this society goes down, the further this society goes down the drain, the closer we are to our kingdom, man. Yahweh Shah. Once that CBDC and that Revelation 13 to 16 is introduced, man, shit is gonna get even more real. Let's go.
Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I want to talk about something that's going on in Taiwan. I'm going to switch to a screen share mode. Sorry, I'm not in a spot where I can record video, but I want to bring you to this, I believe, very, very important story. Now, I've talked about Taiwan and what is happening there with the buildup of the possibility of China moving in. I personally do believe we're going to see things going on in Taiwan, and the reason why is because of very interesting events, like the massive, massive blackout that happened about a week ago. All kinds of logistical issues there. And now we are seeing, and this is just off of the hedge, I'm going to link the story below, but we'll go over it right now. And that is right here, a massive fire rocks major grocery logistics center in Taiwan. Now, first off, I want to back up here. I believe that if China does move in on Taiwan, it is going to absolutely be catastrophic for world markets, let alone be horrible for people in Taiwan. But we have so much Taiwan exports so many things are so important to the world supply chain, but primarily what we're thinking about is looking at is the chip industry, the same type of chips that have caused massive issues with brand new vehicles being produced, all kinds of things like that. Semiconductors are needed very desperately in the world. And what I believe we're going to see is a slow roll between Russia moving into Ukraine and China moving into Taiwan, and between not only the electrical failure, the grid failure that went down about a week ago. This is very, very important. Okay. Now, I can tell you from years of experience that a fire like this is suspect, because you usually, there's lots of things that could be combustible in these structures. However, this is a big deal. Let's just start reading. Massive fire broken out in northern Taiwan Logistics Center for the 8th largest retailer in the world. Okay, now I want to explain something. You don't become the 8th largest retailer in the world by having your logistics center as a complete tear down, run down old shack. Okay. These are very modern structures to be able to handle this type of logistics. Okay. So that's the first red flag. You know, when we see large commercial buildings like this burn, they are usually because they are in disrepair or they're hazardous materials, things like that, right? But because of the newer style construction, it's very hard to see something like this completely go up. It says they received the report early Monday as of a massive blaze at the warehouse. Um, this is absolutely massive. 73 firefighters, 23 fire trucks, and 8 tanker trucks, 4 ambulances dispatched the scene, and I'm sure that was the initial dispatch. Um, the fire appears to have started on the first floor of a 2-story structure.
Yeah, excuse me. You know, the fire started on the first floor. That's right. Stand corrected. It started on the first floor, then went up to the second floor, and it's a two-story building. And like you know, hot air rises. So essentially, once it started on the first floor, it immediately, with the size of the fire, rose up directly to the top and damaged goods on both floors. If it had been just the second floor, the fire would have risen upwards, you know, onto the roof and out of the building essentially. But you would have probably had some scorched goods downstairs, but there would have still been some salvageable stuff. But I started on the first floor and burnt up through into the second floor and then went through the roof. Crazy.
Which is always worse when you're talking about structure fire because obviously the heat travels up. So, excuse me, very fast, it will travel to the upstairs and take the second story out. Whereas if the fire started on the second floor, usually firefighters can try and contain it to the second floor and save the first floor. But as you could see from this picture, how big this city is and how big this column is, this is a massive, massive structure. Now, what's very important is the type of structure this is. This is a major grocery logistics center. Okay. If a structure like this burns and is destroyed like it is right now, this is a total write-off. The structure is a full loss, right? The city or the country is going to have a very difficult time moving very vital food products, especially as we are seeing massive food inflation blowing up like crazy to a city, and it is going to weaken the city's logistics. All right. Remember the most important part. Let's go back to the Arab Spring.
The end comes quickly. It watcheth for thee. Barakatah, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Bashim, Kwakadash. Kwam Yasha Allah. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah Bashim, Kwakadash, Barakatah. Shalom.